not sleeping. Yes. First time having milk. Is that yummy? Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be telling you my 16 and pregnant story. I say 16, I found out on my 17th birthday, so I count it as 16 and pregnant until I actually find out, so that's why it's called this. Anyway, so the reason I actually took a pregnancy test was because my brother was winding me up all day saying, you're going to be pregnant, you're pregnant, aren't you, you're pregnant, like Kira, you're pregnant, like just winding me up, typical brother winding sister up. But yeah, I got home that later that night after going out for food, and I had taken a pregnancy test and it came out with a faint line. Like, oh god, now it's that figures. It came out with a really faint line. It looked like this. Yeah, so we actually didn't know if I was pregnant. So I actually told my mum that day, the day that I found out, I told my mum. So she said, no, you're not pregnant, it's just like a false positive, and so did Sam. And I thought, yeah, I'm not pregnant, like how could I be pregnant, like I'm on the pill, like I cannot be pregnant. So what we'd figured out is the way that I got pregnant was a few weeks prior I'd actually had food poisoning, which was made me be sick, and I didn't realise that when I was sick the pill comes up, which I didn't realise. So if you're on the pill and you're sick, don't have sex. Yeah, don't have sex that night because you're gonna get pregnant like me. Well, I'm not pregnant anymore, hopefully. Oh, I'm not, I'm on a club, but anyway. A few days later, my boyfriend Sam was actually taking me to my dad's house to drop me off, where my grandparents was picking us up to let us stay there for a week as we went on holiday, and they live in Newcastle, and it was nice, and it was just somewhere nice to stay. So on the way there we had picked up a Clear Blue pregnancy test, and I was going to take that in the morning, as apparently that's when your HCG levels are the highest. So I'd taken it at, I think it was like 5 or 6 a.m. and the next morning, and it was positive, of course, pregnant, 1 to 2 weeks. It looked like this. And I actually texted my mum it and she put okay. So we didn't really like do much, like I didn't really have that whole build up of telling my mum or telling any of my family, because I just didn't. My mum was the one that told all my other family, and I think Sam spoke to his family, so I didn't really have to tell anyone apart from Sam and my mum. And Sam, I'm not scared of telling Sam, and I'm not scared of telling my mum, because my mum was a young mum and she obviously won't judge me or anything. She loves Harry, like. Yeah, so I actually found out that I was 1 to 2 weeks pregnant. On that day, I rang the midwife and I said, can I book an appointment in? I think I'm pregnant. And so they'd booked me one in September. So I didn't actually have any pregnancy symptoms during pregnancy, apart from during August, sorry. That was when I got pregnant. Apart from one time on the way back from Wales, where we went on holiday to my granddad's holiday home, I was sick everywhere, like everywhere, all over Sam's car, all in like dog poo bags, because we had 2 dogs in the back, and just that was not fun. And I actually had to go to a family gathering that night while like vomiting, which was not fun whatsoever. But yeah, I actually didn't get any more sickness until the start of September. So my mum was due to go on holiday to Canada the week that I got my severe morning sickness. So she says, oh, it's just morning sickness, you're going to be fine, just have some ginger biscuits, you'll be okay. Because old wives' tale, ginger biscuits next to your bed are good for sickness if you get a lot of sick during pregnancy. So she'd actually rung my uncle and said, can you come pick Kira up so she can come stay at your house for a couple of days while she gets over this like morning sickness. And while I was there, they actually took me to the hospital because of how much I was being sick. Like I couldn't keep down like a milliliter of water, like 10 milliliters of water even, like hardly anything. I couldn't eat toast, I couldn't eat biscuits, I couldn't eat anything. So I was like getting more dehydrated by the day. So they'd taken me to urgent care, and they made me wee in a cup, and they said, like, look, we need you to go to A&E to see if you're really dehydrated and you need to go on a drip. So they'd sent me to this, I don't even know, this triage place. It wasn't the midwifery unit or anything to do with pregnancy, but yeah, they sent me there, and they said, you have this thing called hyperemesis gravidarum. I can't say the last word, and it's basically just severe sickness in pregnancy. It's considered more severe than normal sickness, so you actually have to take tablets to make sure that you can keep food down so you don't become dehydrated. They said that I was actually like an hour or two off getting the drip, so they said I was getting that low and that dehydrated. It's because my body was coping well with it that they didn't admit me into hospital and put me on a drip. And yeah, they didn't admit me into the hospital because of how well my body was coping with the dehydration. So they'd given me tablets which worked for like a couple of weeks, and then I had to change and move on to different tablets, which that was annoying, the fact that they all of a sudden just stopped working. And then they moved me on to something called hydrochloride. I can't remember the last word. I've got some downstairs. They're like tiny little anti-sickness tablets that help you keep food down and things like that. So with that, I wasn't really sick during my pregnancy, apart from if I would forget to take the pill, or I would wake up and I was just sick. Like, I remember during pregnancy I had to eat as soon as I woke up, because otherwise I'd just vomit. I just vomit everywhere, all the time. As I said, all the time. I don't wish hyperemesis on anybody. It's awful. Like, it's truly awful. I don't wish it on any person whatsoever. So yeah, other than that, my pregnancy was pretty like good, apart from the fact that when I went to my first scan, they'd actually seen that my uterus was tilted. So every woman's uterus is tilted either one way or the other way, and I can't remember if it's the right or the left, but mine was tilted the way that not many people's uterus is tilted. So that means that it wasn't an issue unless the placenta was to go over the top. Like, I don't know, I think it wasn't an issue unless the placenta went down to the bottom of my bump, but my placenta was actually anterior, so it was on the front of my bump instead of behind my bump, which also meant that I couldn't feel kicks as much, which made me really sad. I think this is the first video that I got of Harry kicking. How cute is that? Like, I can just see his little like boop. It's so weird seeing my belly without any like stretch marks. It is very strange. Like, now I've got so many stretch marks. Like, embrace them. They are so beautiful. Like, my body has grown a whole human being. Like, I have a son because of stretch marks. Like, I don't care. I couldn't give a crap. So that's basically all of my pregnancy. I found out that Harry was a boy at 19 weeks and 5 days. Oh my god, that was so strange. Harry was born on 39 weeks and 5 days. That's so strange. At my first scan, they actually told me that Harry was a boy. They were like, oh yeah, he's a boy. Like, you can really tell that this baby's a boy. So I never got that like excitement of, oh my god, what are we having? Could it be a girl? Could it be a boy? I always thought in my head, this is a boy. Like, I couldn't imagine myself with a girl. And even now I've got Harry, I could not imagine myself with a baby girl. I would love it. I would love a baby girl. Like, do you know the baby girl clothes are just so cute? Baby boys section is awful for clothes. Like, literally bloody awful. So that's my pregnancy story, and that's how I found out and how I told people. Nobody in my family was disappointed. Nobody disowned me. Nobody didn't not speak to me because I was pregnant. Everybody loves Harry. Like, nobody thinks any different. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button. Check out all my social media. It's just Keira Louise Story on Facebook, Snapchat and Instagram. Please leave any video suggestions down below. Hope you have a nice day. Ooh, I feel so good to be so young and have this fun and be successful.